Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in a very, very long time, NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series action returns, and for the first time ever, it is actually going to be done live right here on Twitch, and then the full race replays will be uploaded over onto YouTube. This is going to be a whole different experience, to say the least, because I have never dabbled with live NR racing before. So welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's having themselves a great Saturday night. I know the Clash is in another hour. Unfortunately, we can't really react to it because it's on FS1. I don't have cable. So we're just gonna have to roll with the materials that we do have here for tonight. Obviously, we're gonna be doing the Clash in a much different manner than what we've done in the past, because tradition was we always did the Clash Daytona, and it was always with veterans or veterans that participated in the previous seasons. Not the case for this year. We're going with the current Clash format of how we're going to set the starting lineup with 3 heat races. They were set, basically the heats were assembled by random draw of who was going to be in one of the 3 heats. And then the starting lineups for those heats were set by practice speeds, ergo Sebastian Palmer in the number 83 with the pole position. Take a look at your qualifying order here. This is for heat race number 1, 20 laps each for all 3 heat races. The top 6 will move on to make up the 20 car field. And then the final 2 will be set for our LCQ, which will be 30 laps. But you see here, this is our starting lineup for heat race number 1. You see Sebastian Palmer right there on the pole position. Then you have Colin Block lining up alongside. Then Casey Wells, Chad Gronkowski, Matthew Hubert, Bob Floyd, Sammy Cars, Kyler Sustry, John Felmer, Damian Kyle Wood, which I had to abbreviate into DK Wood. Hope you don't mind that. Val Moscow, Ava Murray, PJ Vidal, and Alex Savantali. Those are the 14 drivers that make up this 20 car field, or 14 car field. I can't count, for heat race number 1. Now do bear in mind, again, I haven't done live NR racing, let alone commentated NR series in a very long time. So just bear with me, and hopefully as time goes on, my commentary skills will somewhat come back. So, you know, you gotta love it. But nonetheless, we're getting set to go here at New Smyrna. Without being said, let's go ahead. Let's get these cars rolling here at New Smyrna. Obviously, we're going to get the command here in a few more seconds.
Drivers, start your engine!
And that won't be the official command, but we're just going to roll with it. See, the pace car rolls off, and so will these 14 drivers. Palmer, Block, and a couple of Tommy Baldwin racing cars, and Casey Wells and Chad Gronkowski, they make up the first 2 rows, and then Matthew Hubert completes the top 5 with Bob Floyd flanking his outside. Sammy Cars in that 43, and as well as the 11 of Kyler Sustry, John Felber, and also DK Wood making up the top 10. Here we go, coming off of turn number 4. And the green flag is out. We're underway for heat race number 1. 20 laps. Let's do it. Casey Wells almost made it 3 wide going into turn number 1. Thought twice of it. She'll drop back in line, at least for the moment. It's going to be side by side for a couple of laps, but then it's going to start to string out a little bit. Block leads lap number 1. But Sebastian Palmer right down there on the inside is going to take it right back as they head back into turn number 3. Here comes Casey Wells in the 7 on the inside of Gronkowski. Block still holding on around the outside, just barely loses out on leading lap number 2 by 2/100ths of a second. Palmer's now going to clear Block, and it's now a battle for the 3rd position between Wells and Gronkowski. You look further back, door banging right there between Matthew Huber and Bob Floyd. That is the battle for the 4th position. And currently holding on to that final transfer spot for heat race number 1. That is Sammy Cars, I want to say, in this number 43. As they come across the line this time around. Dead heat at the stripe. Actually, I stand corrected. Cars is on the outside looking in. Matthew Hubert is the one holding on to that final transfer spot, trying to put Bob Floyd in that situation. And Sammy Cars currently on the outside looking in. A lot of door banging here between Wells and Gronkowski as the top 2 start to check out. And Wells just barely getting out ahead in front of the 36, at least for the moment. They make their way off of turn number 4. Gronkowski still trying to hold on that outside, but had to lift there going through 1 and 2, and that's going to allow Casey Wells to check out for the 3rd spot. Almost 3 wide. That could have been disastrous with the way that Bob Floyd was kind of pinched in there, but they held on. Gronkowski holds on to 4th. Hubert moves up into the 5th position, has yet to fully clear the 10. Sustry and Carr still fighting it out for 7th. That would be on the outside looking in as they head back through turns 1 and 2. Pretty much the battling is going to be on over in this particular portion of the pack. Everybody else is single file. They've checked out, gotten out of Dodge. Closing in on halfway through heat race number 1 before we move into 2 and 3. Huber right now holding on inside of the top 5, halfway home in our first heat race of the evening. Hubert's going to clear not John Felber, but Bob Floyd, who now holds on to that final transfer spot. Sammy Cars tried to knock on the door of the bubble spot, but wasn't able to get the acceleration off the corner, because usually around the outside we've started to see a corner exit. That's where you generate the most speed, and that's exactly what just happened there between Sustry and Cars, still fighting it out for that 7th position. And while that's all happening, that's all good news for Bob Floyd, because at this rate, he could just check out with that 6th and final transfer spot and let everybody else behind him fight it out for the 7th spot. Meanwhile, Damian Kyle Wood in that 38 starting to come to life, moving up into the 8th position. And now he's going to try his hand at 7th spot, if he can get up there, that is. So far, he hasn't had. He's had a lot of progress in catching up and moving up through the field. Right up until he got up to 8th position here, making a lot of contact here with Kyler Sustry. As we're closing in on 4 laps to go in heat race number 1, you'd have to say at this rate, the top 6 is pretty much just sealed up. It's locked up in the bag. Everybody else looks like they're going to the show later on tonight. And all that fighting has kind of subsided a little bit. But once we get into our 100-lapper with 20 cars on the track, I don't expect this type of racing for too terribly long. Because obviously the tires are going to wear. So that means more mistakes are going to happen. That means we could potentially see a caution. You never really know. We could see this thing go green all the way through. So we have a fight for the lead up front here. Sebastian Palmer, Colin Block still going at it. It doesn't matter. These two are going to move on into the show no matter what. Coming around through turns 3 and 4. White flag in the air. 1 final lap in heat race number 1. Block trying to get to the inside here. Can't quite make the pass. Or at least can't even start it. He's going to try to hear through turns 3 and 4, but it's going to be too little too late. Sebastian Palmer will win heat race number 1. Colin Block will finish 2nd. Casey Wells, Chad Gronkowski, Matthew Huber, and Bob Floyd will all move on into the main show later on tonight. And then before that, of course, from 7th on down, that would be Sammy Cars, Damian Kyle Wood, Kyler Sustry, John Felber, Val Moscow, Avon Murray, Alex Savantali, and PJ Vidal from 7th on down, those drivers will be moving on into the LCQ. Just get a quick little snapshot of that before we move on into our second heat race of the night. Just going to get the heat group. I can't even speak. So now we're going to try to get the second heat race. We'll get the starting lineup assembled for the second heat race. And we'll get that to you here in just a few short minutes. So hopefully everybody is having themselves a good weekend thus far.
Drivers, to your cars.
So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this assembled here momentarily. This shouldn't take too long. At least I hope. 34. Okay. So heat race number 2 is set to be brought over to you. With that being said, here's the starting lineup for heat race number 2. Of course, you have Matt Jones, who starts on the pole position. This is our order for heat race number 2. Jones on the pole, Michael DeFeo starting in second, then Michael Young sitting in the third position, then Josh Lee, Rogeldor, Daniel Adams, Travis Crampton, Edson Hernandez, Wyatt Walker, BB Hange, who won our 2023 Pumpkin 250 this past year. Well, you knew what I meant. He completes the top 10 with Tyler Belladonna, Mitchell O'Brien, Skylar Taylor, and Stephen Colon, rounding out the field in the caboose. Another 20 laps. Not a big problem. I went a little too far ahead, but that's okay. I went a little too far ahead again. That's kind of the disadvantage of having shorter races, so to say. So, command will be given here in just a few short seconds.
Drivers, start your engines.
And we'll be ready to roll for heat race number 2. Right here at the new Smyrna Speedway. So glad that you guys could be here with us here tonight. If you're just now tuning in, we just wrapped up with heat race number 1. And the drivers moving on from heat race number 1, Sebastian Palmer, Colin Block, Casey Wells, Chad Gronkowski, Matthew Hubert, and Bob Floyd. Those 6 drivers will be moving on into our main event later on tonight. We're going to figure out who the next 6 will make up. The next 6 that will add on to our Clash field for tonight. Here we go. Coming around through turn 4, Matt Jones and Michael DeFeo will lead the field of green here in heat race number 2. Little bit of a similar scenario here. Michael Young in that number 18 almost made it 3 wide, but he's going to dip right back into that 3rd spot, at least for the moment. DeFeo leads lap number 1 around the outside. Jones is going to pull out ahead. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Matt Jones looks like he's going to just clear. Nope, not at all. Jones almost had it, but it looks like he's going to get it coming off of the corner. Almost 3 wide. Oh no, Josh Lee, Michael Young right back up into DeFeo. And right up against the wall. Caution is out. DeFeo with some heavy damage to his number 40 machine. Same for Josh Lee, Michael Young. And it looks like it was just those 3 cars. So for the moment, this is our first yellow for tonight. I told you that was going to happen. So first caution of the night comes out on lap number 4. And it involves 3 cars, Josh Lee, Michael Young, and Michael DeFeo, who looks like he might have taken his car back behind the garage area. Same for the number 34 of Josh Lee. They will have to pull out their backups and get ready for the LCQ later on tonight. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. What in the world happened to cause that caution? Let me go ahead and do this as well. Pause that real quick. Here we go. So this is what happened that caused our first official caution of the night here at New Smyrna. Coming around off of turn number 2. We're playing this in real slow-mo. This is what we almost saw in heat race number 1, but this time it actually came to fruition. See Michael Young, Josh Lee getting together here, and they just start drifting down towards the apron in turn number 3. This is just a product of what happens when one car gets pinched in between 2 others, and then right back up into Michael DeFeo and in front of the rest of the crowd. Look at the airtime that all 3 of these cars get here, especially Josh Lee. And DeFeo went side over side, end over end. Looks like he probably barrel rolled at least 2 or 3 times before coming back to rest on all 4 wheels. Young was able to drive his car away from the scene and rejoin the field. And Josh Lee, unfortunately, although he did drive his car away from the scene, he did take it to pit road and parked it behind the wall, as I just mentioned just a few mere minutes ago. So, working our first caution flag of the night here at the New Smyrna Speedway. Of course, Michael Young, Michael DeFeo, and as well as Josh Lee. All those cars heavily involved in our lap 3 incident. This happens very early on. And we're just going to work these caution. We're just going to work these caution laps before we get ready to go back under green here at New Smyrna Speedway. So again, if you're just now tuning in with us, so glad that you could be with us here for tonight for the opening events to the 2024 NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series live here on Twitch. Full race replays will be uploaded the next day over on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, would highly recommend that you do so and to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. Whether it be gaming content, whether it be reaction content from NASCAR to car crashes, to try not to laughs, whatever it may be, or even gaming content from past streams that I've done. Hopefully you guys do enjoy what you see, and especially full race replays from here at the New Smyrna Speedway, for instance. Of course, once again, to Sonic Johns 924, John Andrews, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the clan. Hopefully everybody is having themselves a really good night here at the New Smyrna Speedway. So, I believe we're going to get 1 to go this time by. Only 2 retirees here from this heat as we're closing in on the halfway point. Matt Jones, currently the race leader. Rogel Dorn sitting in the 2nd position. Then Daniel Adams sitting in 3rd. Travis Crampton in 4th. Then running in the 5th spot is the number 31 of Edson Hernandez. 6th and holding on to that final transfer spot to get into the show is Wyatt Walker. Then running 7th is the number 40 of Tyler Belladonna, currently on the outside looking in. Then it's BB Hange, Mitchell O'Brien, Skylar Taylor completing the top 10, and then Stephen Colon and Michael Young along with the 2 retirees, Josh Lee and Michael DeFeo, in that order. Pace car is in, and we're getting ready to restart on lap number 9. Everybody nose to tail here as they approach the restart zone. There it is. Green is in the air. We're back underway in heat race number 2. Jones slips a little wide here as they come off the corner. High speed, all single file. Travis Crampton trying to get underneath of the 55 of Daniel Adams to advance his position. At least trying to guarantee his chances of getting into the clash here at New Smyrna just a little bit more. Meanwhile, up front, battle for the top position. Rogel Dorn trying to take a peek to the inside of Matt Jones as they head back into turn number 1. Was unsuccessful at getting the nose right underneath. Oh, no, Daniel Adams and Travis Crampton. Belladonna spins to try to miss the 55, but ends up barrel rolling side over side, end over end. And just like that, we're back under caution. What in the world just happened? It's the same song, same dance. Same song, same dance here at the New Smyrna Speedway for heat race number 2. And we might have ourselves a green-white checkered finish. We might, or maybe a Mario Kart dash to the finish. What I mean by Mario Kart dash is a 3-lap shootout. And Travis Crampton in the 22 has pulled his car back behind the wall. Daniel Adams, same scenario. Those two will be going to the LCQ. And Tyler Belladonna in this number 4. Very highly likely that this is going to be the same scenario for him. Let's go back and take a look at our second caution here tonight. Our second caution of the night here at the New Smyrna Speedway. Same song, same dance, ladies and gentlemen. This time it's Travis Crampton and Daniel Adams. Both of these cars get together coming off of turn number 2. Just a little too close for comfort there between Crampton and Adams. And then wham, right into the inside wall for both of them. And then Adams just goes sideways. And everybody trying to take evasive action. The driver that got the worst end of that stick here was Tyler Belladonna. You see here, he goes sideways and just hits the wall hard enough to where air gets underneath the car and sends him over side once and then potentially twice. He does. The roof connects to pavement twice and then right back down on all 4 wheels. Thankfully, the same scenario for Michael DeFeo. When he got down came to rest on all 4 tires. Only difference is Belladonna was able to drive away from the scene. Unfortunately, however, his car, well, both cars were really in smoke. But Belladonna, though, if he is going to continue on in this race, obviously he'll be moving on into the LCQ. He's going to have to pull the backup car out for sure, along with Adams and Crampton. So add those drivers to the list that will be pulling out backup cars and will be going into the LCQ. So we're going to go ahead and make our way back to live action here at the New Smyrna Speedway. If you're just now tuning in, we're currently working our second caution of the night. This time, 3 cars have now gone behind the wall. We'll make that 2 more, I should say. 2 more cars that have gone behind the wall, and Travis Crampton and Daniel Adams, unfortunately, and now Tyler Belladonna is going to join them in the garage area. So we have 9 cars left on track here for this heat. And your top 10 goes as follows, even though we have 9 cars currently running on track as we speak. Of course, Matt Jones has led every single lap since the drop of the green flag. Rogel Dorn still sitting in second. Edson Hernandez third. Wyatt Walker fourth. BB Hange, our 2023 Pumpkin 250 champion, sits fifth. And then Mitchell O'Brien sixth. He currently holds on to the final transfer spot to get into the show. Then it's Skylar Taylor, Stephen Colon, and Michael Young, the last car that is currently running on track right now. And then Travis Crampton, who put his car into the garage area, completes the top 10. And then in this order, Daniel Adams, Tyler Belladonna, Josh Lee, and Michael DeFeo. Those 5 cars, those 5 drivers will be pulling out backup cars and will be preparing for the LCQ later on tonight. Now the starting lineup for the LCQ is set in exactly the way that they finish in their heats. You will see exactly what I mean by that once we get to that point, of course. 1 to go. It will be 4 laps to the finish to settle heat race number 2. And hopefully we can finish this heat race under green flag conditions. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get to that point. A trio of Chevrolets, 2 Fords making up the top 5. Then Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Toyota. Currently running on track. Here they come through turn 4. Matt Jones gets a really good jump on this restart. And he is out of here. Belladonna facing pressure from Edson Hernandez. That is the battle for second position here. If Hernandez can get a nose underneath, he does just that, but isn't able to capitalize on corner exit. 3 to go. Wyatt Walker, BB Hange. This is the battle for 4th. And Mitchell O'Brien holds on to that final transfer spot, at least for the time being. Here they come to 2 laps of racing to go in heat race number 2. Everybody just nose to tail on, just right on top of one another, not even giving an inch. Here they come, white flag, 1 more lap to go in heat race number 2. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, everybody is on top of each other. They work their way down the back stretch one more time. Walker trying to make his way to the inside of Hernandez. It's not enough. And Matt Jones will take home heat race number 2. Rogel Dorn, Edson Hernandez, Wyatt Walker, BB Hange, and the number 3 of Mitchell O'Brien make up the next 6 drivers that will be moving on into heat race number 2. And you see there the drivers that would be moving on into the LCQ: Skylar Taylor, Stephen Colon, Michael Young, then Crampton, Adams, Belladonna, Lee, and DeFeo. Those 5 drivers we knew for sure would be moving on since they had pulled their cars back behind the garage area. So they'll be pulling backup cars out and getting ready for the LCQs later on tonight, right coming up after heat race number 3. So we're going to get the starting lineup set for that, and we will be ready to roll
Drivers, to your...
for heat race number 3. So we're just going to get that fired up. This should only take just a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes at that. There we go. And here we go. We're getting ready for heat race number 3. And here's the starting lineup and Everybody will be rolling off for our third and final heat race before LCQs later on here after this heat. Of course, Ryan Durrani sitting on pole, Terry Walker, Nathan Stapleton, Nia Steidel, Will Parrish, Tatiana Noguera. They make up the 6 drivers that would be starting. They make up the top 6. Then Jeremiah Simpson, Bryce Egan, Alex Rampus, John Andrews completing the top 10. Then we have Zachary Fitzwater, Derek Hamill, Dale Johnson II, and Roberto Crown Jr. making up the 14-car field. Let's go ahead and let's get these cars rolling. We rolled a little bit too early. Still too early. This is the disadvantages of doing these live, of course. Nonetheless, we're doing what we can. Command should be given here in just a few more seconds.
Drivers, start your engine!
There it is. Engines fired up. Pace car rolling off. One more set of 6 would make the 20 car, would fill up at least 6 more spots in the 20 car field. And then we move on to the LCQ where the top 2 will advance on. Pretty much the LCQ, at least if you're going to start in the top 2, it's going to be a cakewalk. And then everybody else behind them, they're just going to be doing everything they can to try to get up inside of the top 2. Here they come. Off of turn number 4 this time. Ryan Durrani, Terry Walker. They're going to lead the field to green for heat race number 3. Let's do it. Good start for Ryan Durrani. He pulls out ahead. Nathan Stapleton moving up into the 2nd position. Terry Walker is going to get kicked back to 3rd and might face a little bit of pressure here from the number 2 of Will Parrish. That is if he can get by the number 41 of Nia Steidel, currently fighting back around the outside. That's just on corner exit of turn number 4. Corner entry, the inside line is at its best, but at its worst on corner exit there. A little bit of contact between Steidel and Parrish. Tatiana Noguera in that number 21 now starting to move up into the picture. Currently being scored as the driver holding onto that final transfer spot. At least for the time being. Parrish and Steidel still going at it. And Noguera currently looking on. Top 3 have all currently checked out. Durrani, Stapleton, and Walker. They're all gone, and 4th place is currently being contested ridiculously aggressive here as they come off the corner. Parrish and Steidel, they're not going to give an inch here. And just Noguera is just looking on right now. Parrish is going to clear the 41. And now here comes Tatiana Noguera to the inside, and that number 21. Right up alongside the 41 of Steidel. And now Steidel is going to clear Noguera for that 5th position and go right back on the attack on the 2 of Will Parrish. Meanwhile, further behind him, the number 20 of Jeremiah Simpson. Challenging for that 7th position on Bryce Egan. Egan holds on to that 7th position. That's outside looking in. And I believe, okay, I thought we had a crash going on. I thought Andrews got turned, but so far he's still trucking, but currently not where he wants to be right now, sitting in that 10th position at this particular moment. So everybody's sort of calmed down, at least for the time being. Nathan Stapleton in this number 42 looking to try to challenge Ryan Durrani for the race lead. They make their way off of turn number 2. Stapleton right there on the back bumper of this number 14. Halfway home here in heat race number 3. This is going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. What this LCQ is going to look like, and also what the main event itself is going to look like. Should be very fun. And we hope that you guys can stick with us for the main event later on tonight. Once all the heats are done and all the LCQs are out of the way. And we have our 20 car field set up. So far, we currently have 12 drivers that we know for sure that are going to be moving on. And for those that don't know and just now tuned in, we just wrapped up our next batch. Oh, man. We just wrapped up heat race number 2. I'll definitely have to remember for sure because I know I'd have to remember. So I'll have to look through the LCQ. I'll have to definitely remember through the LCQ on who moved on. I'll know that for a fact. Here they come. 5 to go. Steidl right on the attack. This is for 4th. Still going at it. Here comes Bryce Egan to the inside of Tatiana Noguera. This is for the final transfer spot. Egan just making it look so easy. Coming off the corner, side by side, still making contact left and right. And Noguera got a little bit loose off of 2, and that gives Bryce Egan the final transfer position. And Noguera with the crossovers. They come off of turn number 4. 3 laps to go. Rampus and Simpson, they're going at it. That is for the 8th position. Oh, no! Noguera just turned Bryce Egan! Are you kidding me? Caution is out. That is it for heat race number 3. Ain't no way we just saw that live. Ain't no way we just saw that live. Oh my goodness. Zachary Fitzwater with a ton of damage to his car. We're going to have to go back and look and see how that transpired. As now they work their way to the start-finish line. Final lap here in heat race number 3. Wow. That was chaotic all the way to the end. Are you kidding me? Tatiana Noguera and Bryce Egan were not giving an inch. And Noguera, if anything, I believe that potentially was just a last-ditch effort just to try to get into the show. It's going to pay off, but only at the expense of Bryce Egan, who basically had that final transfer spot locked up, but is going to have to move over to the LCQs. Durrani's going to take the checkered flag. And then Nathan Stapleton will move on. Terry Walker, Nia Steidl, Will Parrish, and Tatiana Noguera. Those drivers will be moving on into our main event. So that is 18 cars we know for sure that are going to make up the field. Standings are official. There you see it right there. Wow, I am at a disbelief of what we just witnessed there. Absolutely unbelievable way to end off heat race number 3. Let's go back and take a look at that one more time between Egan and Noguera, and then figure out how Zachary Fitzwater got his damage. So we're gonna look at this in battle between Noguera and also Egan live at full speed. Man, just same song and dance there. Exit of turn 2 pretty much is just the big trouble spot. And look at Zachary Fitzwater in the background. Let's go back and look at that. See how he got his damage. I believe this is just trying to avoid Bryce Egan. And it was. Same scenario that Tyler Belladonna and Michael DeFeo were in the previous heat. That is just, of course, it's just a shame for Fitzy because he was just keeping his car in one piece and trying to make it to the finish and just move on to the LCQ. But unfortunately, that backup car is coming out. So, we know for sure our 18 car field. Now it is time to get the LCQs prepped up. So we're gonna take a little break and be right back with you for the LCQs and then get the field set up. We'll take one more break after the LCQs and get the field set up for our main event of the evening. So stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
Drivers, to your cars. Drivers, to your cars. Drivers, to your cars. Drivers, to your
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Do want to apologize for that very long wait. And thank you for your patience. Really do greatly appreciate it. And I might need that patience just one more time for setting up the field for the clash. But we're getting ready for our LCQs. I did the best that I could to remember who all was, who's in heat race number 2, who made it in, and who failed to qualify into the show and are ready for the LCQs. So mid-pack is going to be slightly randomized, but this is going to be, and also I probably got our numbers wrong. At least the numbering of like drivers that were basically, I got that incorrect, so somewhat, but I did the best that I could to get it to where it needed to be. Here's your starting lineup for our LCQs here tonight at New Smyrna. Of course, Sammy Cars, Damian Kyle Wood, Kyler Sustry, John Felber, Val Moscow. They complete your top 5. And then Avon Murray, Alex Savantali, PJ Vidal, Alex Crampton, Daniel Adams complete the top 10. And then Skylar Taylor, Michael DeFeo, Alex Rampus, Jeremiah Simpson, Stephen Colon, Andrews, Hamill, Dale Johnson II, Roberto Crown Jr., Zachary Fitzwater, and Bryce Egan. Those are your cars for the show. And I wonder where they are. Hold on a second. There we go. I was wondering where those cars were. But 30 laps here for our LCQ. It's going to be good. Engines fired, pace cars rolling off. 22 cars. This time for 30 laps. And the top 2 will advance on into our main show tonight. So here they come. Through turns 3 and 4, we're getting ready for the LCQ. Remember, the top 2 make up the 20-car field. Just making sure that everybody's started, and that is the case. Here we go. Last chance qualifier is underway. This is going to get a little bit more chaotic because everybody's going to want to try to get inside of the top 2 as quickly as possible. Cars out front. Leads lap number 1, just barely over DK Wood. And now that outside is starting to slip up a little bit. John Felber moves up into the 3rd position. Sustry in 4th. Wood trying to get to the inside of cars. So far, no accomplishment. Nothing has been accomplished there quite yet. They work their way off of turn 2, heading down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Cars with the advantage. Damian Kyle Wood sitting in 2nd. Those are our top 2 that will move on into the main event here after this LCQ. John Felber sitting in 3rd and Sustry 4th. Avon Murray completing the top 5 with Val Mosco, Alex Savantali, PJ Vidal, Daniel Adams, and Travis Crampton. They all complete your top 10. Everybody's starting to get a little bit single file, a little bit of door banging as they go down the front stretch back into turn number 1. Vidal and Savantali banging doors with one another as Savantali retains the 7th position and is now going to go after Moscow for 6th. Travis Crampton, Daniel Adams side by side. And I bet there's probably a little bit of bad blood between the both of them at this particular moment. Meanwhile, up front, here comes the number 11 of Sustry to the inside of John Felber. And Felber is going to hold on around the outside, at least for the moment. They are making contact with one another, especially further in the back of the pack. Top 2 have checked out. They are 3 wide. Not for much longer, though. Moscow to the inside of Avon Murray. Now Murray trapped up on the outside. DK Wood still trying to do everything he can to fight for that race lead. So far, no accomplishment has been made as far as getting down to the inside is concerned. We're 5 laps away from halfway once we cross the stripe this time by. Sammy Cars has led every single lap since the drop of the green flag, with Wood sitting in that 2nd position. Like I said, the LCQ, if you can start up front, it's just going to be a cakewalk from here on. So everybody else are going to make last-ditch efforts, last desperation moves. Some are going to hope and pray that maybe a caution could come out so that way everybody could get bunched up and try to get around DK Wood. Because remember, Wood holds on to that final transfer spot to get in. So they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Halfway coming up very, very shortly. Felber and Sustry fighting it out for position as they make their way back into turn number 3. And out of turn number 4. Felber with the run, but isn't able to get the nose underneath. Moscow and Murray still fighting it out for that 5th spot. Murray has it. Moscow is going to want it. And there was a crash. What the heck? What in the world? What did I just witness? That was Stephen Colon that was stuck in the turn 1 catch fence. Stephen Cologne was trapped in the turn 1 catch fence. Unfortunately, that's guaranteed game over for Stephen Cologne. He's not going to make the clash tonight. That is a tough break for Stephen Cologne. And this is just past the halfway point here in the 2024 Wendy's Clash here at New Smyrna Speedway. So glad you guys could join us here for tonight. If you're just now tuning in or just coming out of an ad break, we're currently working our LCQ where the top 2 do advance on. And we're under caution right now for Stephen Cologne, who has absolutely decimated the turn 1 catch fence. Cologne is refired. He is rejoining the field right now as we currently speak. But let's go back and take a look at that. Take a look at what happened to Steve Cologne and how he wound it up there to begin with. Oh my. So, looking at Stephen Cologne here in this number 24. He's working around the outside of the number 27 of Dale Johnson II. And yes, I am aware I do need to remove the Pumpkin 250 logo. For sure. And then looks like Johnson tried to get up in front of the 24, but just didn't quite work. And then right here, I believe Johnson pinches the 24 of Cologne right up against the wall. If we're pulling a 2005 Martin Truex all over again, maybe a 2010 Casey Kane at Bristol, whatever it is, Cologne finds himself stuck in that turn 1 wall, just basically balancing right on his nose. Luckily, though, he is able to continue on, so that's the good thing. However, the bad news is it pretty much does all but guarantee his chances of not making the clash even more. And that's just a tough break. That's to me, that's just adding a lot of insult to injury, to say the least. But again, Cologne is currently out on track right now as we speak. And we're currently working what I believe would be our 4th overall caution of the night here at the New Smyrna Speedway, getting ready. We're getting prepped up for the restart here, an LCQ, and our one and only LCQ, where the top 2 do advance on. Again, as I mentioned, the LCQ, basically, if you start up in the top 2, it's a cakewalk. It is just basically a cakewalk all the way in to the main event, unless if we have a scenario like this where everybody's going to be bunched up and somebody in 3rd place, like Kyler Sustry, for instance, has a chance to capitalize on the 38 of Damian Kyle Wood. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens here once we get back under the green flag. Cologne 3 laps down, as you can see there in that number 24. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, his hopes are dashed. But it doesn't mean that this is going to set the tone for how his season's going to be. And that also doesn't mean he's not going to make the next race either, because all 42 cars are going to be racing every single race this year, beginning in 2 weeks' time at the Daytona 500 on Saturday, February the 17th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be held live right here on Twitch, and then the full race replay will be uploaded the very next day, just like of what we're doing here with the Clash. 1 to go, as we're getting ready to go back under the green flag here at the New Smyrna Speedway. We're going to be restarting with 9 laps to go here in this LCQ. We're going to have to wait. We're just going to have to see what happens. Will Kyler Sustry have anything for Damian Kyle Wood? Will John Felber potentially third party this effort by Sustry to get inside of the top 2? And potentially sabotage that chance? We're just gonna have to find out. Everybody glued nose to tail to one another. Single file as they work their way through turn 4. Green flag back in the air. Everybody right on top of each other as they head back into turn number 1. Cars, once again, holds on to that top position. Everybody starting to slide just a little bit through 3 and 4. And it wasn't just one car or 2 cars, it was all of them. John Felber trying to get to the inside of Sustry. This is for the 3rd position, and that is for the position outside looking in. 7 to go. And this is definitely not something that Kyler wanted to see whatsoever. The top 2 checking out again. And getting a full. What in the world just happened back there? Belladonna and Adams hit that turn 4 wall extremely hard. How did we not get a caution from that? And Taylor went into the wall once again. You just saw that there. And we stay green. How did we not get a caution flag from that? That's unfortunate for Adams, Belladonna, and I think even Belladonna, Skylar Taylor as well. Unfortunately, they're not going to make the show. Top 2, again, like I said, it's pretty much just a cakewalk for these 2. Damian Kyle Wood and also the 43 of Sammy Cars. 3 laps to go. The 11 of Sustry just trying to do everything he can to keep that 16 right behind him. White flag. Caution is out, actually. So that's it. Man, Belladonna, Tyler Belladonna, as if his night could not get any worse. To add insult to injury, he wrecks once again and is not going to make the show. That is a shame. There's the white flag. I was a lap ahead of myself. So final lap. And this pretty much at this point double guarantees, double, triple, quadruple guarantees Cars and Wood into the clash for tonight. So our 20 car field at this particular rate would be set as to who is going to be in the clash. So they drive their way through turns 3 and 4 at an agonizing at least 35 miles per hour. Off of turn number 4. Sammy Cars, Damian Kyle Wood will move on into our main event for the Wendy's Clash here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Hats off to everybody else who tried and did everything they could but came up just a little bit short. They put together their best effort. And although unfortunately everybody else from third on back came up just a little bit short, everybody tried and everybody did a really great job here to make that effort. But they'll have to gear up and get ready for the season opening first points race of the year, the Daytona 500 on February 17th. Savantali getting roughened up on pit road. But this is just a cool down lap. It doesn't really matter. Race is over. And there you see it right there. Cars and Wood will move on into our main event here tonight at the new Smyrna Speedway. And then Sustry, Felber, Murray, they complete your top 5. Val Mosco, Alex Savantali, PJ Vidal, Travis Crampton, Michael DeFeo, Alex Rampus, Jeremiah Simpson, Andrews, Egan, Hamill, Johnson, Fitzy, Roberto Crown Jr., Adams, Taylor, Belladonna, and Stephen Colon. Those are the drivers that basically finished in that order. But let's look at what happened to Tyler Belladonna. That caused our final caution of the night for heat race for our LCQs. Let's go ahead and look at that. So it looks like this is between Belladonna and Zachary Fitzwater. And it looks like Fitzy just gets into the left rear quarter panel of the number 4 of Belladonna, sends him into the inside wall very, very hard. And that is going to be a major trouble spot here in this 100-lap main event here tonight for the Wendy's Clash here at the new Smyrna Speedway. The exit of turn 2 is going to be a major, major trouble spot for a lot of these drivers. That's exactly what we're going to see here for tonight. 100 laps of action here at the new Smyrna Speedway. The 20-car field for the Clash is officially set. We know who's going to be racing in the Clash, and we're getting ready to go. So, we're going to take one more break to get that field set up, and when we come back, it's main event time. It will be the Clash at the new Smyrna Speedway. So get ready, folks. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Drivers, to your cars. Drivers, to your cars.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event of the evening. The Clash field has officially been set, and we are ready to go for the 2024 Wendy's Clash at the new Smyrna Speedway for the NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series. Let's go ahead and give you your starting lineup. There it is right there. As you can see, Sebastian Palmer, Matt Jones, Ryan Durrani. Those are our three heat winners that move on into our main show, that moved on to our main show by winning. Then Colin Block, Rogel Dorn, Nathan Stapleton, Casey Wells, Edson Hernandez, Terry Walker, Chad Gronkowski, they all complete the top 10. Then it's Wyatt Walker, Nia Steidel, Matthew Hubert, BB Hange, Will Parrish, Bob Floyd, Mitchell O'Brien, Tatiana Noguera, and then our provisional starters, Damian Kyle Wood, and Sammy Cars. Flipped order, of course, but still nonetheless, those are our drivers that make up our 20-car field for tonight's Clash here at New Smyrna Speedway. We have gotten our field set. We are ready to go. So with that being said, there's just one thing left to do.
Drivers to your car.
And that's to get these cars ready and rolling. That's not it.
Drivers.
That's not it either.
Drivers.
But here we go, guys. We're going to do it with 30 seconds left. Obviously, it's been a long time coming, and I'm really happy to be bringing this series back and doing this live. It's a whole different environment. It should be fun, and I look forward to going on this journey with you all starting tonight. Drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are wrapping up. Let's get these 20 cars rolling with the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Pace cars rolling off. And so are these 20 official competitors for the Clash here at New Smyrna Speedway. 100 laps of action for these 20 competitors. This is gonna be interesting. It's all come down to this. It's our main event for the Clash here at New Smyrna. Sebastian Palmer, Matt Jones lead him to green, and the 2024 Clash at New Smyrna's underway. Coming off of turn number 4, right out of the gate. Palmer leads lap number 1. Jones moves up into the second position. Battle for third is on between Colin Block and Ryan Durrani. They go at it for that third position. Rogel Dorn, Nathan Stapleton, a pair of Chip Ganassi racing cars side by side. That is for the 5th position. Durrani and Block still fighting it out. Top 2 are starting to check out here as Palmer and Jones start to pull away from the rest of the field. Still battling it out side by side for 3rd, then 5th, then for this looks like this is for the 7th position between Casey Wells and Edson Hernandez. Coming off of turn number 4 this time around, still battling it out side by side amongst pretty much all these cars, except for looks like the top 2. Front row has essentially checked out in the exact order that they started in, Palmer and Jones. 5 laps complete in this 100-lap main event. We're going to go 3 wide here. That may not be a good idea. They're still making it work somehow. Stapleton in the middle, Dorn on the bottom, Block up top. They worked their way out of that situation, but man, Stapleton and Block almost got together there. Well, they did actually. I thought they were gonna wreck on the front straightaway and collect a lot of cars. They just bumped again there, coming off of turn number 4. And it looks like Stapleton is going to clear Colin Block for that 4th position. So move Stapleton up to 4th. Here comes Rogel Dorn to the inside. That is for the battle for the 5th position. Now everybody's starting to get settled down, single file at least for the time being, but I don't expect this to last for very long because you never know. At some particular portion in this race, there might be a caution that could potentially come out and reset the field all over again. You just don't know when it'll happen. Coming around through turns 3 and 4 this time by 1/10 of the race is currently in the books. Meanwhile, let's take a look further back in the field. Nia Steidel is under attack here by Will Parrish. BB Haynes right there on the back bumper in that number 95 machine as they head back down into turn number 3. Parrish forcing his nose down underneath of Steidel. Banging doors. Remember, these two were rubbing up against one another in the heat races earlier tonight. And they were just roughing each other up here in this main event. Parrish is gonna get the spot on Steidel. So that moves him up into 13th, and the battle is on for 14th between Haynes and Steidel as they head back down into turn number 3. Meanwhile, further up in the field, you see Wyatt Walker here in this number 99 trying to get underneath of the number 36 of Chad Gronkowski. Unsuccessful at that, he'd be knocking on the door inside of the top 10 here if he's able to successfully complete the pass here. We're just gonna have to wait and see if the tires are actually going to wear. They might wear later in this race, so we're just going to have to keep a watch on that. Meanwhile, further up at the front of the field, let's look a little bit further up front. Casey Wells putting some pressure on the one of Rogel Dorn. This would be the battle for the 6th position as they head back down into turn number 3. Still side by side, looks like Rogel Dorn. Wells going to make some contact there with Rogel Dorn. And early in this going, I believe Casey Wells is going to clear the one of Rogel Dorn, but Dorn looks like he's going to fight back on the outside. There he is. Right behind them, Terry Walker, Edson Hernandez, they may be going at it for position here pretty soon. Actually, that may not be the case. Hernandez gets a pretty good launch off the corner. He's going to pull right up alongside the one of Dorn. And it looks like Dorn is going to be able to retain the 7th position and might put the crossover here on this number 7 of Casey Wells as they make their way through turn 4 this time around. Let's look further back here between Wyatt Walker and Chad Gronkowski. This is the battle for the 10th position. Walker's going to take it away momentarily here as they head back through turn number 3. Let's see if Gronkowski's going to get the run. No, he's not going to be able to generate the run to pull up alongside Wyatt Walker once again. So give that 10th spot officially to the 99 of Wyatt Walker. Matthew Huber in that 23 getting underneath the Gronkowski. So currently side by side, that would be the battle for the 11th position. We're almost 1/4 of the way through this event here at the new Smyrna Speedway. So glad that you guys could be joining us. If you're just tuning in, this is our main event here for tonight. The 20-car field has officially been set so far. We've run 23 laps. Well, we're coming around to complete 23 laps under green. We've been caution-free thus far here in this main event, but we're not going to promise 100% that this is going to stay caution-free between now and when the checkered flag falls. But you never know. That could be the case. And we could have a very smooth and very clean clash here tonight at New Smyrna. Durrani is going to take the 2nd position away from Matt Jones. And Sebastian Palmer has pretty much done all but check out. He has led every single lap since the drop of the green flag. And nothing has remained and nothing has really changed, obviously, as you can tell. A quarter of the way through here, and we still have a battle for second. Jones trying to take that second spot back from Ryan Durrani as they head back through turn 3 once again and make their way off of turn number 4, banging doors right at the stripe. Just think if this was the race for the win between Durrani and Matt Jones. So it looks like Jones is going to take that second spot back, but not for long. Here comes the crossover from Ryan Durrani as they come off of turn number 4. Walker and Gronkowski further in the back, rubbing doors with one another. Gronkowski trying to take that 10th position back from Wyatt Walker as they head back into turn number 3. He's going to have it momentarily as they cross the stripe, this time by. And it looks like now, at this particular point, Walker is in trouble as he's just lost the 10th spot to Gronkowski. And that opens the door for Matthew Hubert to drive underneath in that number 23. Will Parrish following close behind. Let's see what happens here. Is Parrish going to make the move going into turn number 3? He does. He follows in the tire tracks of Hubert. See, Walker just got into the wall there. So far, we have been clean and green here in this clash. Through a 30, now 31 laps complete here at New Smyrna Speedway. Sebastian Palmer has pulled out to a 2.5 advantage over Ryan Durrani. Now we have a battle for third. Colin Block had it over Matt Jones. Now Jones going to take it back, at least momentarily. Nathan Stapleton's going to be following in the tire tracks in that number 42. Vogeldorn right there behind him. Back down into turn number 3, or turn 1, excuse me. I'm on the wrong end of the racetrack. Jones edges ahead. And he might be able to clear this number 98. He does. He does exactly that. Now Nathan Stapleton is currently on the offense as they come off of turn number 2. Dead even down the back straightaway, heading into turn number 3. Vogeldorn still looking on. Block edges ahead right at the stripe. Still side by side as they come off of turn number 2, heading down the back straightaway. Hubert almost got turned there by Wyatt Walker as they came off the corner. But luckily, we say green for the time being. Still looking at this battle between Dorn. Now it's going to be between Vogeldorn and Colin Block. Stapleton has taken over the 4th spot from Colin. And now Dorn and Block are going to go at it for position. Heading around down the back straightaway into turn number 3 once again. Casey Wells following in the tire tracks of Vogeldorn as they head the back straightaway once again, or at the front stretch. Now they're going to head the back straightaway. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Again, just bear with me. It's been a hot minute since I've done this, especially on a consistent basis. Looks like Matthew Hubert has taken over the 10th position from Wyatt Walker and Chad Gronkowski. Both of them are now fighting for the 11th position. telling you, these two have been going at it since the drop, since pretty much since the beginning of this race. Banging doors with one another. I believe Gronkowski, or maybe Hubert had, either Hubert or Gronkowski had put Wyatt Walker into the outside wall on the front straightaway, but Walker keeps on trucking. He's still going at it for position, trying to get back inside of the top 10. And so far, he's been doing a pretty good job. Just outside of the top 10, outside looking in, Will Parrish peeking the nose underneath. He could potentially make it 3 wide, but thinks twice of it. Gronkowski gets moved up the racetrack by Wyatt Walker, so that means Walker's going to take over that 11th position. And he's going to set his sights on the 23 of Matthew Hubert. Heading back down into turn 1. Here's Will Parrish on the attack. on the 36 of Gronkowski. BB Hange, Nia Seidel looking on in the background. So we look further up towards the front of the field. Everything is got, not much has really changed. Top three have been our heat winners, but second and third place have been swapped with our Heat Race 3 winner. And third place is our Heat Race 2 winner in Matt Jones, who seems pretty comfortable right here in this third position. No traffic really around him. Nathan Stapleton up into that fourth spot. Here comes Rogel Dorn on the attack on Colin Block. Casey Wells looking on in that number 7 machine. Closing in on halfway home here in the 2024 Clash here at New Smyrna Speedway. Sebastian Palmer has led every single lap thus far. Running in the second position is Ryan Durrani, then third Matt Jones, fourth Nathan Stapleton. Rogel Dorn takes over the fifth position. Casey Wells on the attack for the sixth spot. Colin Block currently has it. Casey Wells currently being scored in seventh. Edson Hernandez eighth. Terry Walker ninth. And Matthew Hubert rounds out the top 10. Everybody currently calmed down, at least for now. I don't expect this race to go caution-free, but you never really know. They could surprise me. They could very, 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 very well surprise me. Let's look at this potential fight that could go on here for the 11th spot. Walker in the 99, Gronkowski in the 36. They may go at it for position. Meanwhile, in the background, Bob Floyd gets turned by Damian Kyle Wood. And Wood hits the wall head on in turn number 1. I told you. Caution flag is out. It waves on lap number 52. And just like that, the field has been reset. My, oh my. The plot thickens. We are past the halfway point. But this is going to make things way more interesting. So Sebastian Palmer still currently the race leader. Let's go back and take a look at that crash between Damian Kyle Wood and the 10 of Bob Floyd. This was pretty much at the very, very back of the field. So going through turns 4, you see Floyd gets very loose. He slides up the track. This opens up the door for Damian Kyle Wood to pull up alongside, but he's got the nose right underneath, and he gets way loose, way wide, gets into the left rear of Bob Floyd and sends him into the inside wall head on. But this also sends DK Wood's car around. Nogueira goes by unscathed. And head on into that turn 1 wall there for Damian Kyle Wood. No safer barrier here. But fortunately, the only fortunate thing is that this is kind of a shorter track, so you're not going as fast into the corner as you normally would. But still, though, a very hard hit there for a kind of a hard hit for the 38 of Damian Kyle Wood. Still able to continue on here in this race. I would say the same thing here for this number 10 of Bob Floyd. So we might not have any retirees here in this race. We might not, but I can't 100% guarantee that. It looks like that's going to be the case. So, as we work our way back into live action, if you're just now tuning in, we are currently working our 54th lap under caution This is our first one in the main event here at the Clash at New Smyrna Speedway. Currently, this driver right here, this guy, the number 83, Ryan Durrani, is currently your race leader and has been ever since the drop of the green flag. Or Sebastian Palmer, excuse me if I said Ryan Durrani. Speaking of Ryan Durrani, there he is right there in the second position. Matt Jones, third. Then Nathan Stapleton, fourth. Rogel Dorn, fifth. Running in the sixth position is the number 98 of Colin Block. Then seventh would be the number 7 car, ironically enough, of Casey Wells. And Edson Hernandez, eighth. Terry Walker, ninth. And Matthew Huber completes the top 10. For those that are tuning in and why we are working this race under caution is because on lap number 52, if you just tuned into the replay, you would have seen Bob Floyd, Damian Kyle Wood get together on the front straightaway and sending Bob Floyd into the inside wall, and then eventually sending Damian Kyle Wood spinning right up across turn number 1 and hitting the turn 1 wall head on. But luckily, fortunately for Damian Kyle Wood, it's just a very small buckle on the hood of this number 38, and he is still good to go. Same for this number 10 of Bob Floyd, who has a moderate amount of rear end damage, but just a tiny buckle on the hood of his race machine, so he is good to go as well. Aerodynamics really don't matter at a short track like this, so I'm pretty sure these drivers, those two drivers in particular, should still be good to go, as we just now take 1 to go. And we're going to be restarting on lap number 58 with 33 laps to go. 57 laps complete. When we cross the stripe this time by, we'll be down to 33 laps to go here in the 2024 Wendy's Clash at the Kalamazoo Speedway to open up the 2024 NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series season. So glad that you guys could be here with us here tonight as we get ready to resume action here at New Smyrna Speedway. Pace car is pulling off into the pit area. And Sebastian Palmer is going to lead him back to the green flag to get this race back underway. Top 2 get a really good restart. They start to check out, at least for the moment. Durrani going to peek the nose to the inside. Isn't able to at least get the pass started, but he's going to try here coming off of turn number 4. Unfortunately, not quite successful there, but he's still trying. He's still doing everything he can. Meanwhile, up front, further in the back, battle for the 3rd position is on between Nathan Stapleton and Matt Jones. This is the battle for the 3rd position, and Rogel Dorn currently looking on in that number 1 machine. Jones is currently going to retain that spot, and Durrani just isn't going to be able to make the pass on the 83 of Sebastian Palmer. That number 83 is just too strong. Oh man, Rogel Dorn! Off the bumper of Colin Block. Close call here for Rogel Dorn. Great save. We stay green. That was a save and a half there for Rogel Dorn. I thought his race was going to be done once he hit that inside wall and came back up across the track, but luckily that did not happen. We stay green. And Dorn doesn't even lose a position from that. Oh my gosh! Colin Block almost had that same fate off the bumper of Casey Wells. That is another save. Another fantastic save between both of these drivers, Dorn and Block. And they still are able to contend and live to fight another day. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd is officially on now. Stapleton and Jones currently going at it. Stapleton with the advantage as they head back down through turn now number 4. Jones with the acceleration off the corner, but give it to Stapleton, who crosses the line in the 3rd position, and now he's going to officially clear the number 78 of Matt Jones. But not for much longer. Jones with the crossover. And hanging on that left rear quarter panel there. You got to be careful. because we've seen that not work out too well for some of these drivers here throughout our heats and LCQs. And it looks like Jones might be able to take that third spot back from the number 42 of Nathan Stapleton. He does. He clears the number 42, heading back into turn number 3. And Rogel Dorn is now going to go on the attack here. On the offense, side by side, banging doors with his teammate. As Colin Block looks on. Stapleton edges ahead, heading back into turn number 3. Dorn right there on the inside, banging doors once again. This is exactly what Matt Jones wanted to see. As they now head down the back straightaway, back into turn number 3. Top 3 have all checked out. Durrani still right there, glued to the back bumper of this number 83 machine, potentially plotting to make some sort of move, but he's got to time it. He's got to time it just right if he wants to get this race win to start off his 2024 season off right. Dorn and Stapleton still fighting it out for 4th. Dorn had it the last lap, and this time around it's Nathan Stapleton who gets the advantage as they head back into turn number 3. But Dorn is going to take that spot back, and now the battle's on between Colin Block and Stapleton. Not for much longer though, because Stapleton is going to be able to get the position. He's going to be able to retain the 5th spot and fall in line between Rogel Dorn and Colin Block. Single file, at least for the moment. At least for the moment. As we are closing in on 25 laps to go here in the Wendy's Clash, right here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Everybody is officially settled down, but I wouldn't count on that lasting for too long because you never know. We could potentially see a pass for the lead. Potentially at some point. I'm not sure if it'll happen. We're just gonna have to let this race play out in order to find out. Stapleton and Dorn starting to check out with the 4th and 5th positions, and Matt Jones kind of right back to how he was before we saw our first yellow flag fall. Currently just kind of chilling in that 3rd spot, no traffic around him, sitting very, very comfortably in that podium spot. And if all things work out for him, he may very well be on his way to just that, a podium finish to start off the 2024 McDonald's Cup Series season. Closing in on 20 laps to go here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Let's take a look through the field. Wyatt Walker, Matthew Hubert going at it for the 10th spot. Banging doors once again between Hubert and Walker. Gronkowski looking on in that number 36 machine as they work their way through turn number 4. 20 laps to go here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Walker currently has that 10th spot. He's going to clear the 23 of Matthew Hubert as they head back into turn number 3. And the battle is on for 11th. Hubert and Gronkowski making some contact on the front straightaway as Will Parrish looks on. Meanwhile, let's take a look further up front. So far, no change between the top 2 of Palmer and Durrani. No change between those 2. They have all officially just at this particular rate they both have just checked out from everybody else. Gronkowski moves up into the 11th position. He's going to be able to retain that from Matthew Hubert, who is now under attack from the 2 of Will Parrish. But it's been a pretty, other than 2 caution flags, it's been a very, very calm clash here at the new Smyrna Speedway. We had some passes, we saw some really good racing, and then some sort of breather moments like this right here where everybody's kind of just single file, waiting to make their moves. So that way they can capitalize on whatever other position they're looking to get before the checkered flag waves. And we might see that here, if, for example, between Terry Walker and Edson Hernandez. This would be a battle for the 8th position if this battle were to break out. Under 15 laps to go here in the clash of the new Smyrna Speedway. First and second have remained nose to tail ever since the drop of the green flag to restart the race back right around, sort of right around lap 80-ish or something. I can't even 100% remember off the top of my head. I believe it probably was right around lap 75. But still, nonetheless, making our rounds, almost to 10 to go. Coming up on slower traffic in Bob Floyd. And there are your race leader of Palmer and Durrani. This is the first time that we're going to be dealing with lap traffic here tonight. Let's see what they do here with 10 laps to go. Will Palmer get held up here by Bob Floyd? He will, but is that going to enable Durrani to pull up alongside? He's on the nose of this number 83. And it looks like, oh my goodness, our race leader just turned the 10 of Bob Floyd. And that's going to allow Ryan Durrani to take the lead with 8 laps to go, crossing the stripe. Are you kidding me? And we had a crash in turn 3. What in the world? What in the world just happened? Looks like this involved Edson Hernandez, Gronkowski, Wyatt Walker, and even the 2 of Will Parrish. And the 23 of Matthew Huber. What in the world just happened? Ryan Durrani was able to take the race lead away from Sebastian Palmer, who ended up turning the number 10. We gotta look at that. We have got to look at this. What in the world just happened? So this happened just a little bit ago. Bob Floyd, he's up high, but watch this. Watch this. It looks like Palmer just goes off the corner just a tad bit too wide, gets into the left rear corner panel, and the trouble spot, once again, unfortunately, woes the number 10 of Bob Floyd. And then we had another incident that involved Wyatt Walker, Gronkowski, Parrish. Let's see this. I think this was all everybody just trying to take evasive action to avoid the number 10 of Floyd coming back up across the track. I believe he does get hit. Yes, he does, by Edson Hernandez. He spins right up into the wall. Wyatt Walker gets a piece. Gronkowski spins into this. Same for the 23. Same for the 2. So 5 cars had piled up in the turn 3, turn 4 areas. Parrish was able to drive away. Unfortunately, Hernandez, Walker, Gronkowski, Hubert was able to drive away, but eventually all these other cars had to clear up and teleport to pit road in order for Hubert to drive away from the accident. Same goes for the 2 of Will Parrish. Parrish was able to get away, but unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to continue on here in this race, so he is going to be pulling his car back behind the wall late in the going, inside of 10 laps to go here at the new Smyrna Speedway in the clash here in the 2024 clash for the NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series to open up the 2024 season. Let's go ahead. Let's work our way back into live action. So, inside of 10 to go. And just like that, 4 drivers knocked out. We might add 5 here if Will Parrish isn't able to get back out and finish this race. Parrish still sitting on pit road in that number 2 machine. I think he might be able to get back out if they can actually get his car. Nope, not the case. Just as I figured it would happen. Parrish pulls his car back behind the wall, and he joins Edson Hernandez, Wyatt Walker, Chad Gronkowski, and Bob Floyd. And that's such a shame. Walker, Hernandez, and Gronkowski and Parrish were all having just such spectacular runs, fighting it out for position. And if anything, maybe try to go for a really good finish for all 4 of those drivers. Bob Floyd, same scenario for him. Unfortunately, though, he was turned earlier in the race. That's why he was on the tail of the lead lap, on the verge of going 1 lap down when this occurred. But unfortunately, he, along with Gronkowski, Walker, Hernandez, and Parrish, are all behind the wall. And they're going to be watching this unfold. But how about this scene right here? Sebastian Palmer, who had been leading every single lap since the drop of the green flag, got into Bob Floyd, which set that whole thing off. And around the outside went Ryan Durrani. He ended up taking the lead on lap number 92. And we are going to have ourselves a Mario Kart dash to the finish. 3 laps to decide it all. If you're Sebastian Palmer, you're thinking to yourself, ain't no way. I'm just going to let this all go up in smoke after essentially dominating this entire race. Can Sebastian Palmer get the race lead back from the number 14 of Durrani and take this win? We're about to find out. 3 laps to go here in the clash at New Smyrna Speedway. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. Everybody got a really good restart there. Durrani managing to hold on to that top position. Jones trying to do everything he can to get around Sebastian Palmer. 2 to go this time by. Durrani also trying to check out. Same for the 83. They both start to check out as they come around the back straightaway. Through 3 and 4, they'll be looking at the white flag this time by. 1 more lap to go in the clash at New Smyrna. Durrani has it. Will he be leading coming back to the checkered flag? Palmer tried. He tried everything he could in turn 2. It's not going to be enough. They work their way through turn 4. Ryan Durrani takes the checkered flag in the 2024 clash at New Smyrna Speedway. Do you believe that? He led the final 8 laps, including those 5 under caution, and the final 3 under green. Sebastian Palmer, that's got to be gut-wrenching for him. He led every single lap up until those final 10 laps, final 8 laps. Just is going to come up short in the 2nd position. Then Matt Jones finishing in 3rd. Great run for him. Consistently in the top 5 all night long. Rogel Dorn, Nathan Stapleton both completing the top 5. Then it's Colin Block, Casey Wells, Terry Walker, Nia Steidel, BB Hange, all completing the top 10. Then we have Sammy Cars, Mitchell O'Brien, Tatiana Noguera, DK Wood, Matthew Hubert, who was the last car running on the racetrack, and then our retirees, of course, of Will Parrish, Edson Hernandez, Wyatt Walker, Chad Gronkowski, and Bob Floyd. That was, man, I'd have to say that was a pretty good, solid clash, I'd say. A pretty good, solid clash here to kick off our 2024 NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series tenure. and our first one live on Twitch. Remember, guys, the full race replay from our heats to our LCQs to our main event, that will all go live. That will all premiere on YouTube tomorrow, whether it be during the day or the nighttime. Nonetheless, everybody's going to be able to see the full race replay. If you didn't catch it live on Twitch, be sure to go over to the YouTube tomorrow to catch it. I'm pretty sure I might upload this maybe around 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. Might schedule to go to premiere right around that time. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll figure it out as time goes on. But still, nonetheless, great showing all the way around. Congratulations to Ryan Durrani on winning the 2024 Wendy's Clash right here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Want to thank you guys a lot for watching. Want to thank you guys a lot for tuning into the live broadcast here on Twitch. It's been an absolutely amazing night here at New Smyrna. And coming up in 2 weeks, 2 weeks time, will be the Daytona 500. But before we get to that point, of course, on Thursday, we'll be running our duels, our Gatorade duels. Those will be 20 laps each. And that will just basically set the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. We'll set our front row behind the scenes. That will come out soon. But as far as the rest of the starting field, that will be determined on Thursday. Nobody goes home, but still, nonetheless, we've had ourselves a very good, amazing night here at the new Smyrna Speedway. I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys are brand new, be sure to hit that follow button so that you don't miss a future stream. As far as just overall, I'll be back pretty soon. Be taking a little break, and then we will be right back here playing Old Republic, Star Wars Old Republic with one of my coworkers. So that should be fun. And I'm not gonna raid out tonight, but we'll be raiding. Well, I'm not gonna raid out on this stream, but we'll be raiding out in the next one. So take care, guys. Have yourselves a great night. One more time, congratulations to Ryan Durrani on securing the win in the 2024 Clash at New Smyrna. Take care, everybody. Have yourselves a great night. And if you're gonna come back, I'll see you later.